So this is part of the fundamental fundamentals and very basics of the this series of presentations. Uh, but I always throw it there so you guys have like an idea of the complexity of the systems that we now know may have existed back in the day. Uh, from what is called common fencing, we got examples, creme de la creme, uh, the, of what was the what become like the uh, military staple, the fighting commonalities of fighting with the sword. And when we say common, we don't mean less. Uh, we mean like it was the the known fencing of the time, like the most used, probably the better known, but become the normalcy of fencing, sword fighting at the moment. And well, there is like groups of masters, fencers, that develop systems to get an advantage over that. Uh, we got on the Italian side, the early Italian side, we have Fiore dei Liberi. Fiore dei Liberi basically gave us a directory of techniques going from open hand combat, wrestling, to open hand against dagger, dagger against dagger, bastoncello or baton, single-hander sword, longsword, pole arms, armor combat, etc. And he relates the the base of it all, which will be like the hand-to-hand combat and the wrestling, all the way. Those techniques are, in a way, always translatable to the other disciplines of the other one. Well, that was a way to transmit or how you call it, teach what you know. So we have four known manuscripts attributed to Fiore de Libero. And we have basically more than eight attributed to what is called the Lichtenauer Health or the Society Lichtenauer. And these are all authors or manuscripts of historical sources dealing with the teachings of this guy called Lichtenauer. He will seek patronage from the wealthy, probably, teaching his own system of how to dominate the battlefield. And it will work for the seasoned fighter, but it will also work for someone that didn't have as much experience and didn't have as much training with the sword, probably. There is a big gap of it. It's not the same having like a life of learning how to use the sword and then acquiring this system and incorporating it into your fighting, as opposed to I really don't know anything, but I have a judicial combat coming up and I need something, sir. How much you want for your teachers? So The teachings were summarized in the settle is the veiled teaching uh, is not well explained, but some of the students or practitioners of this system will make notations. Um, the original poem, uh, we don't know if it was transmitted orally or it was put into writing. At some point it was. It wasn't by the hand of Lichtenauer himself, it was by what we can call his pupils or followers, groupies. And part of the system, we have been talking about it all this time. Remember, this is a formula to work the kinks of how to deal with an opponent as fast and efficient as we can. And I know this is a lot of information. So we talk about overall intermediate. We have codes and steering or trust. But we have what we call the 5 words, which is not to be confused with the 5 Meister codes. The 5 Meister codes, by the way, depending on the source, there are later sources that go as far as 7 or more. In the late 1500s, we have a whole bunch of different plays with fancier codes, but the bread and butter was those 5, and those are the ones we find on the really early sources. The 5 words give us the input data for what we can only call a fighting algorithm, that if followed correctly with the right technique and the right conditioning, will probably increase your probabilities of winning or surviving an encounter. So these 5 words are basically 4, which is similar to the English before, nach, after, index. Index is sometimes is described as in an instant. I like to say the right time, and you know that is a way to, for some, is a way to gain the fore or the initiative of the combat, putting you in an ideal position. Index is one of those terms like really difficult to describe, especially if you are out of like the fencing discipline. It also talks about strong and weak, and strong and weak can mean the leverage force that we exert on the mind. We can talk about the strong and weak of the sword, but it can also refer to the presence of the opponent. The intensity of how the opponent or you yourself follow or chase in the combat situation, and the intent. So how strong I present myself. I'm being weak, I'm being weak on purpose, I'm being strong on purpose, I'm being strong because I don't know better. Five Meister codes, which are not to be confused with the 5 words. We have the Sonar, which is basically a code from above, as hard as you can, similar to Golpe de Villani or the villager code on the Italian Fiore di Liberi. cuts on the same plane, basically, we go to the middle plane, which is similar to the middle plane, but it's usually above the head. Let me try it. It's way easier. So if this is a typical cut from above, and this is a typical cut from below, and this is a typical cut from the middle, this will be a spell. Notice how I'm cutting with the long edge on one side. I'm cutting with the short edge on the other side. Also notice the equivalence of the crossguard is in front of my face. On one side, depending if I'm righty or lefty, or cross, and they on one on the other side. Actually, let me show you. One here. Yeah, they are cross. That's your spare how. We have chill how. I do a short edge usually. I'm cutting and putting a barrier in between me and my opponent. Okay. If it's me personally, I will show the face or the visage of the sword or the flag. I will be ready to cut or stick. We got the chrome hub. So again, we have middle cuts above the middle of the body, and we have cuts from above on a diagonal or a parallel line, and below. Also, we have now frontal plane cut. So this is how people typically show the motion. Some of the sources describe it as a long edge cut from both sides. Some other sources talk about short, or they don't specify short, long, like on the spare how. So it's basically a spare how on another plane. So with the spare how you can move lower, like make a more acute angle. You can do exactly the same thing with the chrome how, what you can project. Okay. I will have the check tool. So the check tool is scalping, translated as the scalping cut. Scope is translated as the group cut. Chill how is chip cut. Yes. The spare how will be the over. I really don't have a definition for that. I should look it up. And the chart how many times is described with on the perception, which is a displacement or cut applied against a guard. We haven't talked that much about the guards. And they usually show one patient on the outer position, and then the other one appears to be retreating or sliding the leg back a little bit and going literally for the scalp. Some people will show it like this. Some people will show it moving forward. I personally teach it moving backward. That way I completely clean my area. I try to wrap a little bit around. Okay. The V or 4 versetzen are the 4 displacements, and they are intimately related to the 5 master cuts. And really the nature of the master cut is it puts you in a threatening, advantageous position, where your blade is in between you and your opponent, but you're still able to strike the opponent. The somehow is the weird one because it's basically an overhaul. But since it's the cut favored by the gods mechanically, you can use your body and your kinetic chain into it. Okay. I say that we have Gilbert system because the somehow is discounted out of it, but actually the somehow displays a somehow. Basically depends on your footing, timing, and brute strength sometimes. Also some of like variations of the trajectory. It's basically a long edge cut as opposed to the chill hop, which would be a little different given the short edge. So the Birber Setsen, if we have 4 Petsersen for these 4 of the 5 Meister and we have 4 Blossom over Lenke Bloss, over Rec Bloss, Unter Rec Bloss, Unter Lenke Bloss. We have 4 guards. 4 guards or posta or the Germans call it hood or legger. Please don't call them ligger. They are not ligger, they are legger. Lager. And for the common fencer, there was like a myriad of different guards. Guards can be described as nodes or chambers for the sword actions. And it can be a starting point for it, it can be an ending point, it can be a transition point, it can be a midpoint in between starting point and ending. There were so many guards. At some point, we know of 16 guards, but if they can be more under variations. The Lichtenauer tradition was like, nope, we're gonna work with 4. 2 for the higher quarters, 2 for the lower quarters. 2 will be threatening with the point, 2 will be offline, or with the point away. So at least on the German tradition, on the Lichtenauer early German tradition, we have Fontak, which is just overhook, or like a guard from above. We can do it closer to the body. We can incline the sword, we can leave it completely up. Some people do this either out of laziness or because they really train to throw a strike from there as fast as they can. Some people close the line farther above, inner above. At least I try to keep it the cross guard a little over my eyebrow line, and this corner in front of my face. If I go the other way, same thing. I can go here, 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 up, up, up. If I incline the sword, I just go a little bit. I don't go too much. I try not to do this, even when it's super comfortable. And give you the feeling of generating force. I prefer to learn to generate the same force from a safer cover or barrier. And we also see these guards on the Italians. They're just variations. So we got that open, over one, above one, both sides. It can be center. And Fontak, either from above, from the roof. It sounds like a bomb type in German, but it's not. It's B-O-N-T-A-G type. And it's offline. See, the point is looking away. We got its counterpart will be Albert or the Fool. And point will be online. Some people touch the floor, some people leave it like a fist or two above the floor, some people take it to the side, some people leave it neutral, some people put it in front of their leg or their off leg. So, but it's basically the same. It's offline, lower quarters. And then we have the online or threatening ones. The above one will be our ox. Some people will do it with the horns of the ox, parallel to the ground. Some people will do it perpendicular to the ground. It works both sides. Same thing with the elbow. I keep that some there. Variations go for the hanging, which is a little inclined and extended with the middle of the sword basically aligned with the middle of your body. And it gives you a better leverage and cover. And it can be done for both sides. That's your threatening point from above, your third guard. We have our lower threatening point, which is basically fluke or the plow. And this one can be placed closing the line completely to the side or looking at the oval. Can be looking at the sternum, can be looking at the throat. Okay? Can be more here. Depends on how some people will play and they will give different profiles. And it have obviously its counterpart in the Italian, which is basically cinghiera, dentro di cinghiera, sword on in reference of our own body. Okay, we all have two arms, two legs, more or less center body with similar dimensions. So we got those 4 guards, and then we're going back to the 4 blossom. Each of the guards are usually positioning on one of those quadrants. Or in between 2 quadrants, where it's going to be over, under, threatening, not threatening. So these guys, they gave us a formula. If you learn how to capitalize on these elements, when you see your opponent falling or moving into 4 of those guards or positioning, those are your cues. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. The moment you see your opponent lowering their sword, you're gonna do something. So try to allow for that. So if you see your opponent dropping the sword, from the other side you will just go for the head. If you see your opponent going to walks, even from its barrel, you're just going group, ideally from the outside to the hands or to the sword. If you see your opponent going to contact, you whack him with a spear, which is basically, if he has his sword like this, you're gonna go to the other plane. But and if you see your opponent falling into fluke, you just shield. Because when they go to that fluke, what is coming is basically a thrust. And that's like grossly described. I haven't got into the guards. The guards is more part of the bare basics and fundamentals part of this series of presentation.